What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Invest Iowa. We're gonna give you guys a market update, so we get pretty straight to the point. What does it look like to live in Des Moines and the Des Moines area, Des Moines Metro? Today we have Darson Grantham with us that is gonna help us and guide us through all the little details that I don't quite yet understand, so it's easy to digest. So this is a walkthrough to what looks like in Des Moines.
Cool. Okay, so first thing we're going to start off with is something that we don't really talk about, and it's how many active listings are in each town. And where this comes into play is if you're searching for something in Altoona, Ankeny, in certain price points, it's good to know how many of these are available, or am I looking for a unicorn? So this stat, and those of you that don't know, I'm here with Sebastian, who's at Invest Iowa. He's joining me for most of these Monday market updates just because he wants to learn how to see these stats. He is learning how to see these stats. And he's also, I don't know if anyone knows this, are you becoming a realtor?
Yes, I am becoming a realtor.
Sweet.
Pretty soon.
Pretty
in less
soon.
than a month.
Awesome. So just this data, it's not necessarily for everybody, but a good realtor should be able to go through this data and talk you through, hey, the house that you're looking for as a buyer is a unicorn. And it's going to be really hard to find. And so this data really shows that. And what this does is it goes through in the Des Moines Metro, all of the cities, the metro cities in price point and how many properties are actively listed. And the black obviously stands out most. That means there's none actively listed. So just an example, we're looking at Bondurant properties that are 600 up to a million. There is none actively listed. But there are 9 from 200 to 300,000. There are 55 from 300 to 400,000. And so if you don't know the Des Moines market, one of the reasons for that number is that's a lot of new construction in Bondurant. Bondurant doesn't have very many resale homes. A lot of them are new construction. And we know first time new construction is roughly in that 300 to 400K price range. Does that make sense? So each city kind of breaks that down.
Okay, and I can see that in some places there isn't even like 0 or 100K, so that means probably you're looking at foreclosures or things of that nature.
In the 0 to 100K?
Yeah.
0 to 100K, yeah, you're going to look at a very, either very small or very dilapidated house. And a lot of those that show black in those boxes are in the suburbs. In the suburbs, notoriously, they just have higher priced houses. So your Des Moines East, West, Northwest, Des Moines West has nothing under the 100K because Des Moines West typically is a higher price point than Des Moines Northeast.
So we're looking at the total houses at
Actively,
2,127 active
for sale
right now, currently.
Well,
in December.
At the end of December. Yep. So lot to take in this slide. We're not going to dig into every single city, but we're going to try to go over these things. It's not going to be every week because Les Solgrove, and we didn't really say that, Les Solgrove puts this information out, DesMoinesMarketValues.com. You can find these slides. So go out there. I did not put this information together. Les did, but he does this at the end of every month, or he did at least during 2022. So he allows us realtors to use his data as long as we give him credit to share with clients, to share with the public of what's going on in Des Moines. And so this is a slide that he puts together. I believe it's about at the end of every month. So we'll go over that as the months continue. And today, this is a slide that I wanted to just highlight.
I think this one is not as hard to understand. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Price ranges and locations.
Once you understand what the accesses are, yeah.
I know that there will be more difficult ones.
We'll see. So this is sale pending. Same type of thing, only it's sale pendings versus actively for sale. And really not a huge, I want to say difference. There's a big difference, but typically you're going to see it mirror the active sales. Like if there's a black box in pending, there's probably going to be a black box in active for sale, just because it's a supply and demand.
So what that means is houses that are currently
under contract.
Yep. Okay.
So those of you not from Iowa, if you're listening to this, in Iowa, we use the term sales pending, similar to in escrow. So a lot of other states will say we're in escrow. In escrow in Iowa is just like saying we're pending. Property's under contract.
That makes sense.
Next on it, we have, and I'm going to try to stick with all homes as much as possible so we can get just a broad overview end of December. And it's monthly active activity by listing status. So as you can see on the left side, new listings, pendings, close, price increases, price reductions. And I'm going to kind of tell a story about what these numbers mean. Something that stands out to me is our new listings, so properties coming onto the market, we had more pending sales than we had new properties come on the market. So if you think about supply and demand, the supply and demand of properties come on the market and you have more properties leave the market, go pending, than you have come on, you are decreasing the supply. It's not a good thing if you, well, I say it's not a good thing. You're agnostic depending on what your goals are. It is something that is not going to let prices drop as fast as some people want them to. Because you have a lower number of properties for sale, you're not going to have a price drop as drastic as if you had a huge new listings, a lot more listings than you had properties go under contract.
So how does a listing get here? When do you become a number of the back end market? It means that property that before
Okay, so we're going to switch to back on market. So you already switched. Okay. Back on market, 136.
We could do it with anything.
Yep.
I mean,
this all pulls from the Des Moines Area Realtor Association, MLS. So this is straight MLS data. It has nothing to do with for sale by owners. It has nothing to do with any commercial properties, larger properties that aren't on the Des Moines Area Realtor Association MLS. DMAR is what it's called. And you can see at the very bottom.
Gotcha. So the question is, these houses that were in market, price reductions, it means that they took the price reduction during December.
Yes.
Okay. Same for all of them.
Yep.
Cancel listings. Yep. That happened in the period of December.
During December, yes. Okay. Yep. Something that stands out here to me is the another one is the price reductions.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, 716. There's more price reductions than there are new listings.
I don't think you saw that in 2020, 2021.
Did not see very much. I'm going to go on a little rant on price reductions. And I've only been a realtor for almost 3 years now. So I'm not super seasoned. I've not been through a down market. My struggle with price reductions seems like most people that have price reductions either as a realtor didn't know the actual listing price or what it should be, or they couldn't talk the owner into listing it for the price that the property should be sold for, right? So there needs to be, if you're selling a house, there needs to be some education to sellers that, hey, your property is not worth what you think it's worth. It's worth what the active market is telling you, not even 6 months ago, not even 3 months ago, but what going forward the active market is telling you.
But I don't think sellers are ready for that conversation.
Well, most of them are not, right? And so then it comes to the realtor to help educate them to say, hey, property, we're listing it for $100,000. It should be listed at $85,000. If we don't get an offer in 2 weeks, we're going to price decrease to $85,000 where it should be listed.
And that's something.
It's tough.
It's more detrimental.
It's a tough conversation. Yeah. Because if you have a property, so think about this: if you have a property listed at $100,000 and it's been on the market 2 weeks, are you gonna offer $100,000? No, you're probably gonna offer 80, 75, 80, 90, right? And if the price should be 85, you're gonna know that as a good buyer, so you're not gonna offer 85, you're gonna offer 65, even if its property is listed at 100,000. So list price in general, it's not a guess, but it's dang close. So anyway, anything else you want to talk about here?
No, I think it's very self-explanatory.
So next is all homes in price range, and it's months of inventory. So what we kind of explain this is months of inventory is how long, if no new properties came on the market, how long until all of the properties would be sold if we continued at the velocity of sales as we've seen in the past. So this is something, months of inventory, everyone looks at it. It is a number that is irrelevant because it's never going to happen. No one is like, it's never going to be a time when no new properties come on the market. Right. But this does tell basically under 200,000 is still a seller's market technically. 2 to 300,000 is a buyer's market, or excuse me, is an even market, and the rest are buyers markets. Does that mean? And I saw this from one of our neighbors. I do not live in a very prestigious area, but one of our neighbors listed a house at $1.4 million. It sold in 3 days.
Wow.
Right. And so that totally debunks the myth of this of 30 months
30
on
months
market. That's the average.
for above 1 million.
Yeah. But this house sold in 3 days and it was a 1.4 million. So it's very property specific, because that property was probably a $1.5 million property, 1.6, 1.7. They sold at 1.4. So like if you price it, it will sell.
Yeah.
Any questions on that one? Does that make sense?
Seller's market for 100 to 200K.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like,
So
what can you say about that?
There's still a lot of buyers in that under 200,000 price point. A lot. Whether it's investors, first-time home buyers. Those are, mainly the two that are buying in that. And you have to, if you're a first-time home buyer, there is a lot of incentive programs with local banks to buy something with very low down payment. And the price to rent versus the price to own is still pro price to own. Like, you're still going to have usually a lower monthly payment on a mortgage than you are your rent check for a similar product.
That makes sense. That financing is probably not offered to higher end properties just because they don't need it, right?
Well, they're not first-time home buyers typically.
That makes sense.
So it can, but also the first-time home buyer incentives, a lot of those are income specific too. So you can't make over, I know one is like $85,000. So if you make over 85K as a household, you can't qualify for this program. Well, if you're making over 80K, you could qualify for a 400K loan. Potentially. You want to go buy it? Maybe, maybe not. But that's one of the factors that goes into this heavily.
Right. No questions on this one.
Today in history, this gives a comparison of 2021 versus 2022 at the end of December. So comparatively, the red is year-to-date closed sales. So in 2021, 17,494 closed sales. Now this year we're at 1,549. So almost 2,000 fewer homes sold. Really, honestly,
There's not that much of a difference.
2,000, it's about a 20%. I have to do the math, but I think it's roughly 20% drop in home sales. The other thing that I would say is very telling of this is the pending sales. So in 2021, on the right-hand side, the yellow, you have 2,358 pending sales at the time. And right now we only have 1,320 total pending sales. So a lot more under contract last year than there are today.
It probably takes longer to be on. Now it's longer the time that you sit under contract than probably 2 years ago, right?
No, you had more people buying.
So they will skip home inspection. They will skip most of the things. It'll be faster.
No, just more active, just literally more people buying. So pending sales is you had two. You think about it this way: every pending sale is a person buying a property.
Okay.
In 21, we had 2,300 people buying properties. In this last of December of 2022, you only had 1,300. So you had almost half of the people buying properties, saying yes to a property. Because it has nothing to do with listed properties, technically. The pending sales is just buyers. Because you have to have a buyer before you can have a property go pending.
Okay, there's definitely an increase there.
Yeah, a decrease. 2021 to 2022. A drastic decrease of buyers, yeah. Here's active homes for sale by price range. This goes back to the very first slide we talked about of, are you looking for a unicorn? What, how unique is the house that you're looking for or selling? And obviously the more unique house is usually a higher price point. And so you have under 200,000, you have 370 some houses for sale total. And you think about
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. And you think about the number of first-time home buyers, like the younger generation deciding to buy, people that are sick of paying higher rents. Rents are going up. They're going to buy. Your number of buyers for that low price point, under 200, is a lot. And you have not the fewest, but a very very low number of houses for sale. And then you go up to the 300 to 400.
That's new construction, right?
Yeah. Good job. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's not the only factor, but it's a huge factor.
So, I don't know.
I don't know what percentage.
What percentage
I do not know. Unless they didn't provide the
Would you say that
split.
it's more 50%?
It's 50%, roughly, yeah. No, actually, now that I say that, of total houses, like total all for sale in Des Moines, last week we talked about it, it was 50%. 50% new home versus existing homes. So that specific segment is going to be, I would say, closer to 75% new homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's mostly in the suburbs.
Shooting from the hip.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not new homes in Des Moines. I mean, less than 1% of home sales in Des Moines proper are new homes because there aren't a lot. There is not building available. There's not land available to build on.
Right.
Skip that. This is an interesting one. This is kind of confusing.
It does look confusing.
But it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier of homes for sale versus pending sales. So as homes go for sale, you want to have more homes for sale than you have homes go pending, because then you have an inventory that is reasonable where people can shop around for houses instead of just have to buy on day one. It's a healthier market, they say, which does make sense as a buyer so that you can think about your decision and not regret it. And there's a high percentage of regrets in the last 2 years of home purchases. A lot of data on that. So what this says is from January 1 of 2022 to December of 2022. At the beginning, we had 2,300 properties pending and 1,900 actively for sale. So if you think about it, that's like a negative. It's a negative, basically velocity. Not enough homes for sale. If you just stopped putting properties on the market, they'd sell immediately. And so there's an inverse, or a higher pending through week 31. That's probably end of summer. And then it switches back to more actives for sale than there are pendings. And although that it feels like the housing market crashes when that happens because of the last 2 years, it's actually very healthy for the housing market.
Pretty much it came back to average.
The dreaded, I hate it, the dreaded normal. It came back to what normal is. And I think I went the wrong way. Here's it's called inverted market. And you have 2020, 2021, 2022. And so the yellow is when we're in an inverted market. We have more pending sales than we have active listings.
So more buyers.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's not healthy in those markets for buyers to have to go buy something so quickly. So we've switched at the end of 2022. You can see we're back into a more, they say, normal, a non-inverted market comparing homes for sale and homes pending. So it's good. It does not mean there's a crash. If you kind of look back 2020 and in the past, you will see almost none of the yellow. It's green. So if you kind of zoomed back out into a 10-year period, that yellow would be the last 2 years would be the only yellow. And so it's shows it was a crazy market.
Oh, this one's similar to
There
the
you
one
go.
that we reviewed the other
Yeah,
day,
there
right?
you go. There's your existing homes versus new homes. And so, yeah, we have, 200, roughly 200 more new homes for sale by property type than existing homes. So if you are, like, this kind of comes back full circle, if you are the avatar, the person that is looking to buy a new home, there's a lot of opportunity out there. The issue is it's a 300 to 500K price point, but you can get a lot of seller concessions. You can get maybe a free finished basement, maybe an upgrade in the kitchen, the bathroom, flooring. There's some upgrades that you can get. A lot of the times they don't like to decrease price, but you should be able to get some good seller concessions. So if you are looking for new homes for sale, if you're going to buy, you're going to trade up from existing home, you're going to sell something under 200K, and you're going to take that equity and roll it into something 3, 4, 500. Like there's some arbitrage there. A lot of you could make a good difference. I think that's about honestly what Here we go. We can end on this. So we'll end in this slide, and that's basically just the homes for sale 2021 versus 2022 and the number of homes for sale. And it looks like the red line is the 2022, and we're sitting at what, just over 2,700 homes for sale.
That's a big change.
This time last year we were at under 2,000, closer to probably 1,700. And so you have many fewer homes for sale in 2021 than you do in end of 2022. Is that bad? If you zoomed this out and looked at a 10-year period, we're still drastically lower than what normal is prior to 2020, prior to 2021. But this does give you some perspective of why there are so many price decreases, of why buyers feel like there's a breath of fresh air, and why sellers are feeling confused over the price of their house, resulting into listing price decreases. After seeing all that, where's your head at? Like, what do you think?
I can't not put interest rates and how that's driving the market, but
As it should.
if I was to come up with conclusions for people that are not as knowledgeable as you on this, I will say there are more houses and there is less people putting them under contract, right?
Yep.
Well, interest rates are going up, so less favorable terms.
They went down on Friday.
It did.
Yeah.
Still
Not like down.
if you compare it to the 3% that people are getting now to a 7%, like that's
way down.
Yeah.
Or up.
Although that was an outlier, and now we're going back to normal, but
Interest rates.
it is not normal for
It
the
is
people
not
that
in the last
were,
2 years normal.
right. And what else? Overall, I think it's a healthy market. Like, it just went back to what it should be.
Yeah, there's no panic in the streets.
Right.
The only people panicking are sellers that were confused about the price of their house because they were uneducated.
Yeah. Do you feel I follow the news in different places, Colorado, San Francisco. Well, San Francisco, let's leave San Francisco kind of out of the picture because that's a completely new world, but like Florida in general, Colorado, and it feels as Iowa is particularly isolated. Why is that?
Like, we've always been that way.
But why?
Because we're boring. Think about it this way. A big spike up is going to lead to a bigger spike down.
Yes.
Iowa didn't have a big spike up even in 2020 to 22. We didn't go crazy.
Are you comparing that to other states?
Yes. I think it was, if you look at the average median sale price, I'd have to go, don't quote me on this, but it's roughly, I think it was like a 15% market increase those 2 years, 21 and 22. Well, 22 would have been lower. 20, 21, 22. Roughly, if you probably took that period, about 15% increase in values. That's not crazy. Other markets saw 40 or 50, but they're coming down 30. and we're coming down not much. I mean, we'll still see, right? I mean,
Is
does
this
that make sense? Why?
Yeah, I mean it does make sense. Would you say that this is more of a population thing? Just because we're not that many, then um we don't have such exaggerated numbers?
No.
No?
No, I mean, I'd have to go back and go look at what other 750,000 people cities and what they've done, but I would venture to guess some of them have increased more than Des Moines and are thus decreasing more than Des Moines. I have to go check and compare, but I don't think it has to do with the size. I think it has to do with the economics and the business of Des Moines. It's boring. There's not a reason.
Financial,
banking,
insurance, a lot of insurance, right?
and ag.
Which is pretty stable even in a crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That
Right.
makes
So you don't have the industry swings. We don't have tourism to bank on or get killed on.
Okay.
We don't have their Airbnb blew up in a lot of those big markets. It jumped in Des Moines, but your
It's not a huge
vacation
thing.
area places, your Raleigh, North Carolina,
Oh, but I heard you mention that when people talk about Airbnb here in Des Moines, it's because somebody wants to be closer to family, not because they're traveling
yeah, they're usually not going on vacation
on vacation, which it's
to Des Moines.
considered tourism, right?
Yeah.
So
That's just not right. Like, it doesn't happen in Des Moines. You don't. No one tourists in Des Moines.
no, there isn't. There
Like,
isn't
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a day trip, I guess, but and then you think about it. If and when the economy really crashes, what vacations do people take? They don't take luxurious ones. They take boring ones to places like Des Moines, and they come to our art center, which isn't bad, but
Yeah.
it's not that crazy.
Okay. Well,
So-
I'm happy to be in a stable place.
That's what I tell people that call me from out of state. Like, tell me about Des Moines. I'm like, it's good, but the economy and the business and the real estate's kind of boring.
It's just like your bonds,
Yeah,
and then you'll have stocks
they
other
go way
places.
up, way down, way up, way down. Yeah, and you can get parts of Des Moines that go way up, way down. Right? Like it. Trying to think of one actually. Now that I say that,
Not that many.
not very many at
Not
all.
that many.
You look at the high price point houses. Like that'd be the way to do it. You're 750 up to 1.5 million. Like they probably increased more drastically, and now they're coming down more drastically.
That makes sense.
So, okay, we'll wrap this up. If you like this information, we're going to try to do this every week, and we'll get it out as soon as possible. Subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends. That might be a better way to do this, is take this video if you know anyone that's buying or selling a house and they're trying to get educated on the market and they're just confused with what every realtor is telling them or every news article is telling them. Go share this article or this video with them so that they can see what's actually happening in the market. And if they want, reach out to me and I'll drill down. Are they looking in the Beaverdale? Are they looking in the Windsor Heights? We can help them out with that. So,
Yeah, because ultimately we don't care if you are buying or selling.
I don't care.
It's just data.
Yes.
Yeah, I like numbers. That's the reason why I like numbers.
Because it's just data.
Yeah, it's just data.
Then you have to tell the story with that data.
Yeah, it doesn't favor you. It doesn't favor me. It doesn't
Oh,
favor
I can
anybody.
spin it. I hate the reason I love and hate data though is you can spin it in any way you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're ethical, so we don't do that.
Correct. What are you laughing at? That's true.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true.
Cool.
All right, guys.
See ya.
See ya.